That's amazing. I was trying to bring in barrister. I was trying to make sure that I could bring in barrister Mbesia there. Sorry, barrister Ghana, who is just joining us now. And I must say that we are having a great time. Barrister Fro, you're welcome. Barrister Ghana, you're welcome. We're going to get back to the Nkia issue after this. But gentlemen, you would have watched the Mbella Moki video that has popped up. My opinion on it is that Mbella Moki is just staging, is doing some movie there. Barrister Ghana, we may want to honor you for just coming now to begin the conversation on this before we move on to the other analysts. Talk to us, Barrister Ghana. You're welcome.
Well, thanks for having me here, Comrade Paddy, and thanks to Barrister Mbessa and Barrister John Funso, two committed comrades in the struggle. I think Ambazonia needs to be very grateful to these two senior lawyers who are doing a lot to foster our cause towards regaining our sovereignty. But and greetings to all the listeners out there, and to all those who have their heart in this struggle, and to those who believe, and rightfully so, that the regaining our sovereignty is not too far away. Regarding this story with uh, Honorable Moki there. I mean, it is what I call static. It is what I call static. It's neither here nor there, because it is not the genuine duty of French Cameroon to develop Ambazonia. It is not the genuine duty of French Cameroon to. I mean, they might have some administrative duties because they are an occupation force there. I'll go back to von Dinker. The person who kick started this struggle in the early 80s. And one of the things that the good and honorable Fondinka did was go to the UN to try to have the UN complete its job in decolonizing Ambazonia, in decolonizing the British Southern Cameroons. And what Fondinka was told, and I've spoken extensively with Fondinka. What Fondinka was told was that the only reason why the UN still gives some modicum of attention to French Cameroon being in Ambazonia is because we have our parliamentarians attending their parliament, because we have then at that time we didn't have senators, because we have our parliamentarians representing our people in their parliament. And Fondinka came back and I think tried to get all our parliamentarians to to get out, to withdraw from their parliament, to withdraw from the parliament of French Cameroon. But we have this thing of the stomach where people are being fed. That is where they want to stay and be fed as much as possible. But the desire, what we call the languor to be fed, goes contrary to the liberation of Ambazonia. And so they are there serving their purpose. Mbella Moki is not there serving the purpose of Ambazonia. Mbella Moki is there serving his purpose of padding his pocket. So he's crying to somebody who does not have the genuine responsibility, nor does French Cameroon have the genuine desire to develop Ambazonia. It is there, it is in Ambazonia as a tapeworm to suck as much as possible out of Ambazonia. And French Cameroon knows that in the long run, Ambazonians are not asking for some token of roads here and a factory there or a seaport here from French Cameroon. What we want is the crown jewel of who we are, a sovereign, distinct people from French Cameroon. It is the duty of Ambazonians to develop Ambazonia, not the duty of France or French Cameroon to develop Ambazonia. So trying to have them fix roads is like somebody having malaria and you want to cure the symptoms. You want to cure the high temperature, you want to cure maybe the sneezing, you want to cure the body aches. If you haven't cured the parasite, that malaria will not go anywhere. And the parasite in Ambazonia is French Cameroon. French Cameroon needs to get to the negotiation table and get out of Ambazonia. What we need to be talking about are the terms of negotiation, the exit terms of French Cameroon getting out of Ambazonia as an occupation force, and not about some little tokens here and there of roads or hospitals or schools. You know that when Ambazonians are left to their own devices, we build our own institutions, even without collecting revenue from the resources that we have. The PTAs, we build the schools, we build hospitals, we build genuine institutions, way more than French Cameroon can ever do. Then imagine if the purse of our resources, of the exploitation of oil, of the exploitation of timber, of the export of cocoa, of coffee, if we had control over those resources, Ambazonia would truly be a paradise. So what Ambazonia can do is a far cry from what Mbella Moki is asking in the parliament of French Cameroon. Ambazonians need to focus on liberating Ambazonia, on regaining our sovereignty, on kicking French Cameroon out of our territory. So thank you.
It's actually interesting that we would have to just move from the first report into this one. Mbella Moki by Stafro is another CPDM loyalist who pushes strongly the agenda of the Southwest superiority complex in their rhetorics. And we've seen him saying that Southwest people are not Southwest people, a few handpicked of Yaoundé, always uses that strategically to continue to divide and weaken our collective. But this is the case here, like Barrister Ghana would have said. People see this as electioneering. The election is a few months away, and all the CPDM juntas are out trying to position the people's minds to give some legitimacy in the process that there has been some form of a debate. That's how I see it. Because to me, that was just a movie. It was not it was not convincing enough. Please talk to us, Barrister Fro, in this regard.
Yeah, before I want to take the person of Mbella Moki. Who is Mbella Moki? He's a CPDM young man. He started from YCPDM, grew up in the system, became the mayor of Boya, and subsequently appointed to be senator. Mbella Moki has never won election to become senator. He probably, I don't know whether he won the election to become mayor, but he was mayor of Boya. And he came from YCPDM. He grew up what he is. If you look at Mbella Moki, on his own, he would not have been where he is today. He's a child of the system. So he is like Barrister Ghana says, is talking for himself. He's not talking for any other person, either the Sideways or Ambazonia or whatever. He's talking for himself because he has lived like this. He is what he is. He looks posterious because of the CPDM. So he defends the CPDM. That is the problem that Ambazonia has. Like my most venerated senior barrister chief, the chief that Barrister Ghana mentioned, who went to the United Nations, and they pointed to this very issue, the issue of people parading themselves in La Republic and parliamentary system without being elected, and giving the impression that Ambazonia is participating fully in the political life of La Republic of Cameroon. Is that an excuse that the UN will give for the non-decolonization of the southern Cameroons? That is the position of some misguided people in the United Nations. From Mbella Moki, he can make all the noise he wants. He goes to Boya and talks about the Southwest, that the Southwest are not part of the Northwest. They condemns anybody from the Northwest. He doesn't even know that the Northwest and Southwest was the Southern Cameroons. Mbella Moki doesn't care to know whether the Southwest and the Northwest were once a country. So I will not say much about him. He's a CPDM cohort. He wants to continue to live that way. He has grown in it. If you look at his educational level, he should not be where he is, but he has been catapulted by the CPDM and is now swimming in the title of senator and is doing very well. So he can decide, he can say something that the people will listen and say, oh, this is the man talking for the Southwest. Why did he only have to talk only about the Southwest if he's talking about roads? And then in somewhere in between, he adds the link between the economic capital and the political capital. It's a disgrace to the world. Well, that is electioneering. We have nothing to do with La Republique of Cameroon. We will develop our country. All we want is that they should leave our territory and go away and allow us to develop our country. Because they have told so many lies when I was young. Oh, they are going to develop the Limbe seaport into an international seaport because it's the only deep sea port in Cameroon till today. The only engineer that was there trying to build up that port. His name is sitting there in the convict prison in Mbella in Douala, Fonjinda. He never went anywhere. I mean,
before we even do it, they are developing the one in Kribi. A lot of these things, and as we can see, roads and things and many things happening. It's a fraud. So we've all come to that agreement. Even social media reaction, you now understand that this staging at the Colonial National Assembly is all a fraud. And I'm bringing the mic to you by Stambesia.
before
What
you go, I want to say that I was mistaken. Is Barrister Gojidinka,
fun
the
God
senior colleague that I was, the name went off my mind. Yes,
that's okay. So I'm
that's the
bringing it to you,
father
but
of that is the father of Ambazonia.
yeah, yeah. So I'm bringing it to you, Barrister Besia. Um, with all of this, what do you think from your perspective that Cameroon is hoping to achieve? First of all, nationally, the people listening, and the international community by having handpicked individuals like Mbella Moki doing all of this cinema or drama in their National Assembly. What is their thought process? What is their strategy? And what do they hope to achieve? And that's the reason why we're having this conversation, so that they are, first of all, understanding that we are not ignorant. And the world is getting our own dimension or analysis of the whole issue. So, what could be Cameroon's thinking having Mbella Moki do this? Because we know it's not genuine.
Well, I think we'll come to the conclusion of what they want to achieve. But let us first of all deal with what they are doing. That will lead us to what they want to achieve. But Belamoki, as Brasanso says, has walked through the rounds and fire of the CPDM to today. But where is he today? Mbelamoki is a senator. A senator is a lawmaker. Mbelamoki is one of the 10 senators of the so-called Southwest. They have 10, three of whom are appointed by the president. He's one of the three appointed. But the most important thing is he is part of the lawmaking process. He is in Congress. He's in the House of in the Senate, which is part of the lawmaking institution in Cameroon. And Mbella Moki, what he says there, people who have said he was lamenting. Yes, and I would like to qualify what he was lamenting in short. The lamentations of Mbella Moki. Why is Mbella Moki lamenting? And we're forgetting the occasion. Mbella Moki is not making, it's not a press conference. Mbella Moki is speaking on the floor of the Senate. He's speaking in the House where they make laws. Mbella Moki is speaking during or at the end of the budgetary session of the Senate, of the House, the two chambers. They have just voted a budget. What would have expected Mbella Moki, like any other elected person, election in court, is to be telling the people of Okondo Titi, as he says, of the BLM, whatever thing is cited there, what is in the budget that they voted for these people. Mbella Moki did not need to remind us that 25 years ago, I was in Boya then, Paul Biya came to Boya and promised a bitumen factory. What is a bitumen factory? It's a place where they produce tar, produced from the waste from the refinery to tar roads. They have not done it since 1991-92 that Paul Biya came and made us tell me. I was there myself. It has not been done. If it had been done, his potholder is complaining about, it will no longer be there. But the issue is, Mbella Moki has just finished, they have just finished the session. To be honest, those who are listening to us from Boya and around him, go to Mbella Moki and ask him to show you a copy of the budget they just passed. He doesn't have one. There's no copy of the budget they just passed. And so what was this budget for? So what is Mbella Moki is talking to who and for what? He's addressing government ministers sitting right there. Who is supposed to implement these things? The parliament, the house in which Mbella Moki sits, is supposed to pass laws. They pass a budget, which is supposed to be inside. This is the road from Kumba to Kondi Titi, 20 million, whatever amount. This is the road from Fontem or Libialem to Manfe or wherever it is. 7 million. It is not there. So what is he lamenting? Has the position of a lawmaker become a position of lamentation? No. It is a position of action. It is a position of lawmaking. It is a position of controlling the action of government. So, according to him, they promised to build a deep sea port. They promised to put a cement factory. They promised all these things, and they didn't do. Where are they holding as senators, as Congress people, as lawmakers? Where are they holding the government accountable for not living up to their promises? Zero accountability being heard. So Mbella Moki, as Riley says, he puts it there himself. There are elections coming in next year, he says, with his own mouth. What shall we tell our people? So that will take us back to what I just said, that until we analyze where it's coming from, do we know what it's trying to get? He has said it with his own mouth. Elections are coming next year. What are we going to tell the people again? What lies are you going to tell them again? And as Barson says, he has been a child of the system for the past 20, 30 years. And so if they didn't dig the Kondo Titi Road for several years, for the past 45 years, what makes him think that they will dig it next year when there's election? If they didn't build the bitumen factory since 1990, that was promised, what makes Mbella Moki or anybody think that they will do it after the election of next year? He says, we have nothing to offer to kill me, or they will kill us because we are not delivering. And I said in the previous section, knowing the history is an important thing to do in politics. Mbella Moki knew what the House of Assembly stood for in West Cameroon. He would have perhaps known that he has lost the role of a lawmaker. In the West Cameroon House of Assembly, bills passed were not generalized bills. They were passed with details, which included where a school would be, the cost of building the school, which included how many kilometers of road would be dug, the cost of digging them, and then the total will come in. This is where the budget is. They are not doing this. And as I said right now, Mbella Moki, neither him nor any parliamentarian, nor any senator has a copy of the finance bill they just passed a week ago. He doesn't have it because it's not important. They saw it 10 days to the passing. He never read through it. There's nothing inside. And then he's talking to government ministers who should be coming to him as a man who controls them and say,
Yep.
we didn't do this. He's instead holding them to be, trying to be accountable to them instead of they
So,
being accountable to him.
yeah.
So
So we all
what
agree.
are politics?
We all
What are
agree on
politics?
one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Finish.
again, I've done that. Where is it heading to? They're heading to 2025 elections. Shall they win?
So we all
Maybe as
agree. We
usual.
all agree on one thing. That is all a
All right.
strategic attempt to for them to conceive the new lie. I like the way you put it. They are trying to what next is going to be the new lie. And there are those who have even gone further to think that it's all about legitimizing that system in Yaoundé, that house, by keeping the Southern Cameroons there. It's about legitimizing it. And I wouldn't even want us to belabor the point again, unless very briefly, by Ghana, you have something to react to that very briefly so that we can move into what you were not there. I want to play some two videos for you to watch them and give your perspective before we move to the last segment of this evening. Unless you have some. Now, looking at the international community, you have said, number one, they are trying to keep us there by doing this. Barrister Mbesia, he's saying it's about positioning the people and helping the strategies on the ground on what to do come 2025 election. Barrister Fru is very clear and very direct with his word. He believes that all of that is waste of time. It's all about staging. It's a lie, and we cannot agree any less with him. Maybe you want to say something.
I mean, they've summarized it excellently well. We as Ambazonians, we as the Southern Cameroons, we are not supposed to be beggars. There is when you talk about the Congress and the Senate, there's a budgetary process where those who are in specific committees can have inputs in creating the respective budgets there. But Barrister So and Barrister Bese have really articulated it that our representatives have absolutely no input in doing justice to us as a people, to doing justice to us as a sovereign nation. These representatives are there primarily to pat their pockets. And unless Amazonia becomes free, unless Amazonia becomes sovereign, that is just going to be a stage for pretense by the so called senators or parliamentarians. Thank you.